We're playing Cyberpunk 2077. It's a bit of a different video today. I'd love to play the game for you guys. I'm just a little upset. I'm a little angry. So that's what this is about. I've been playing the game since launch, and I'm sure I'll stream it soon. But I'm upset, and I didn't think that it could wait. There is one scripted video on my YouTube channel, and it has to do with this game. It's about 3 months old. It's my expectations for this game and why I think it will be the greatest game ever made. So my thoughts were, since I'm upset, that I would make this my second scripted video. But I decided just to let it all out there because I didn't want to wait. I wanted to do it now and explain to you why I'm mad. It all stems from comments online about this game having issues. Now, I haven't had any of those issues. I am on a Series X, and a lot of those issues have to do with playing on a regular Xbox One and a regular PS4. There's lots of complaints about bugs on PC as well. So it's not just those older consoles. I haven't really had any issues on my Series X, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Basically, it stems from one sentence that gets me really going. If it was EA, Electronic Arts, or Ubisoft, they wouldn't get a free pass. So CD Projekt Red shouldn't. Or EA or Ubisoft would be killed for what's going on. And that really fucking pisses me off. Because that's literally the point. That is literally the point. If EA or Ubisoft did this, they deserve everything that they get. It isn't them, so they don't. It's not Electronic Arts where we've been burned 5 times. It's not Ubisoft where we've been fucked over and over and over. It's not. It's CD Projekt Red. It's Cyberpunk 2077. Part of the reason that I'm upset is because it reminds me of Mass Effect Andromeda and that situation. It's one of my favorite games. It has all sorts of issues. But when Mass Effect Andromeda came out, it's notoriously one of the buggiest games that has ever been launched. There are still memes about it. Years later, it came out almost 4 years ago now, and people still think that the game is bad, even though they've never played it. I had to finish Mass Effect Andromeda with a novel. Why did I have to do that? Because when the game came out, there were so many bugs that were all over YouTube, all over memes, all over social media about how bad this game was, bugs or otherwise, that no one played the fucking thing. And by the time they fixed it, they lost their entire audience. So they made this game, they launched it rough, and it became fun to make fun of that fact. And then people never went back after they fixed the game because it has been fixed. And it's one of the prettiest games you can play. It's not perfect by any means, but it is not a bad game. Mass Effect Andromeda is a very, very competent title. But because it was review bombed on Metacritic, which we'll talk about, because it was review bombed and everyone said it was the worst game ever made, even though they've never fucking played the thing, they didn't make the DLC that they planned for it. So in Mass Effect Andromeda, they didn't make the DLC that they planned to make. I don't know if it's spoilers at this point, but they didn't finish the game, basically. Because some people in suits, some people who stand to make money from that game being made, basically said it's not worth doing. So I had to get DLC for one of my favorite games through a book. Because of Metacritic. But Metacritic can be reviewed by any person on the planet, and there's no verification that they have played or watched something. I'm not sure why Metacritic all of a sudden this year has come back, because it's been laughed at for years. The Metacritic on movie reviews has been a joke. You obviously have never seen the film. You gave it a 0 out of 10. There's like 2 movies that came out last year that are 0 out of 10 worthy. If it's on film, it gets a 1. Automatically. If it has a title, it gets a 2. There's no such thing as a 0 out of 10 movie. You didn't finish that movie. So you don't know. I'm not sure why Metacritic all of a sudden is a big deal. But CD Projekt Red basically put their bonuses to the people who made this game on whether the game was reviewed well. Now, I'm not sure if there was a vote or anything like that. That's not the point. My point is, you can either do it on sales, which is generally what normally happens, how much money the game makes,
I'm in a hurry.
or you could do it on how good the game is. And everyone's like, oh my god, I can't believe they made it on reviews. What the hell's the difference? Blade Runner 2049 was one of my favorite movies from 2 years ago. It reviewed amazingly. Everyone loved it. It didn't make a fucking penny. No one saw it. Not a soul saw that film. It lost money. There might never be another Blade Runner movie because no one fucking saw it. That could be the marketing campaign. It doesn't fucking matter. My point is, you could either do it on sales, do it on reviews. They both have a risk. You can't tell me that it's a risk, or not a risk to do it on reviews, but it's not a risk to do it on whether something makes money. You have no clue if it's going to make money, and you have no idea if it's going to be any fucking good. Now, you can, if you're in the company, you can generally tell if something's going well. But you don't fucking know. So don't sit here and tell me that because this game was supposed to be, their bonuses were based on the quality of the game and the reviews, that it changes anything. It doesn't. It's the same as if it was on sales and it made a shit ton of money. Of course. But it stems from the game basically being, I'm using air quotes, unplayable on older systems. The base Xbox One and the base PS4, which came out in 2013 and are a little bit older now. Now, the argument is obviously valid. If you can pop a disc in and play the fucking thing, it should be playable. Totally understand. The breakdown for it, though, the regular consoles, the 2003 launch consoles, PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, they have all the issues. Bugs, low resolution, and awful frame rate. The ones that are a little bit better, the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro, they basically have some issues. They're okay. Basically, if you have an Xbox One X and you have a PS4 Pro, you're still playing this game and you're loving it. PC has all sorts of issues. And then on next-gen consoles, there's hardly any issues. On my Series X, I'm about... well, I guess we can check here. Okay, I'm about 18 and a half hours into the game. I've had one crash, one dialogue issue where something wasn't said out loud, 2 sunken cars, and 1 floating car. And that crash happened last night. So it was 18 hours into the game. And that's what I've experienced. I'm on a Series X. I paid $500 for the thing. Maybe I should expect that. But I haven't had any issues. If that was the point of this video, I understand. I'm not having any issues. That doesn't mean that you aren't. My point is, you can't say that, oh my god, you can't defend CD Projekt Red. If this was EA or Ubisoft, you'd be killing them. It's fucking not, and that's the point. They're not. as far as hype for something that's supposed to be good or that people like literally creates people who hope it fails. They go together. There is hype for something that's supposed to be good or that people like, it creates people who hope that it fails. People don't hope random game number 4 fails. They hope that something that people enjoy fails, so they can enjoy their sadness and pain, so they can revel in their unhappiness, or say that they were right all along and knew it was going to be shit. I've heard some people say that, I don't know, this really creates some trust issues with CD Projekt Red. What the fuck are you talking about? The game has been out for 4 days. There are games I can pop in my Xbox right now with floating fucking cars, with bad fucking frame rates. They were never fixed, but you know what was? The Witcher 3. The last game that they put in, my favorite game of all time, was buggy as hell and the UI sucked dick. And now, it's fine. They fucking fixed it. So, your trust issues that were created, fuck off. As far as pre-orders go, that's the thing. If you pre-ordered this game like I did, I pre-ordered it in June 2019. The game came out in December 2020. So it was a year and a fucking half. I pre-order something on purpose. I didn't pre-order on hype. I pre-ordered to give the game money, give the developers money, and give the game money, because I was going to get it and play it no matter how good it was. So if I was going to purchase the game and play it, no matter how good it was, it could get a 3 out of 10, it can get a 10 out of 10. I was always going to buy it, and I was always going to play it. So I might as well give them my $60 now so they can make a better game. If they're halfway through development and they have 0 pre-orders, some people in suits, some people with bank accounts in charge of a company are going to say, well, why don't we scale back? Why don't we not put that in the game like we planned to? No one pre-ordered the fucking thing. So I pre-order something and I have no idea if it's going to be any good or not. If it's bad, that's my bad. If it's good, that's my bad. It's my fault if it's great. I fucked up. The game's good. So if you pre-ordered this game and you didn't get what you want from it, that's your fault. Now, I totally understand that if you have an older console, that this game should not run at 15 frames a second. Totally understand. But 2 days after it launches, you need to chill the fuck out, and you're missing the point. You cannot say if this was EA or Ubisoft, you wouldn't defend them. Of course I wouldn't defend them. I've been burned 1,000 times. Whereas this company proved the exact opposite, at least for the past 5 years. I saw a quote today. It says, "Don't pre-order a game unless you can live with being disappointed." And that's how I feel. So, I didn't pre-order Cyberpunk 2077 because I like Blade Runner. I didn't pre-order Cyberpunk because I like the aesthetic, or I like first-person shooters, or I like the future. Well, this is a cool place. I haven't been here yet. I'm gonna come back here. I didn't pre-order this game because I'm interested in it. I pre-ordered the game because of the company. Literally, the reason you're complaining is the reason that I bought this game. I bought the game because they made The Witcher 3. Someone today said, you can't defend the company because they made one good game. They did not make one good game. However you feel about The Witcher 1 and 2, they made The Witcher 3, they made Thronebreaker: The Witcher Tales, and they made Gwent. And then they supported the living fuck out of those titles, and especially The Witcher 3, over the past over 5 years. So yes, they made the game, but then they supported it. What I mean by that is 32 free DLC within a few months after Witcher 3. They fixed the bugs. The UI that was fucked up, they fixed it.
Absolutely.
If you've ever played the game for more than 5 minutes, you know how much these people give a shit. You know how much they care about what they're doing on a daily basis. All you have to do is one side mission in The Witcher 3, and you totally understand. And then they released the 2 best DLC, or paid DLC, I've ever seen in my life. Both of those paid DLC, I paid money for, were over 20 hours long. And they both deserve to win Game of the Year, just by themselves. So it's not, oh, they made a game. No, they made an awesome game, my favorite game, and then they supported the living fuck out of it, and then made a whole bunch of other shit. That was awesome too. So, the entire point that people are making is the entire point of why I bought this game. Not because I like cars or the future or guns. I prefer swords and shields to tanks. But I bought it for the company who made this game, because I know how much they give a shit about the smallest detail. If there's issues, I believe in them, and that's that. I saw footage from a regular Xbox One today. 1 second.
Please, I've got kids. Really? No, really.
Sorry, buddy. I saw footage from a regular Xbox One today. And it looked like a Switch game. But the reason I say that is because a lot of us have a Switch as a second console. We don't give a shit that it's in 720p. We're just excited that we can take Call of Duty on the go. It's in 720p and the frame rate sucks. Who cares? You give that Switch a pass. That's from 2017. But the console that you bought 7 years ago, oh my god, I can't believe it. Grow up. So, basically, in closing, some things can't be fixed. Some things won't be fixed. But I believe the majority of them will, especially the bugs, and at least the frame rate can be improved on those older systems. It's still going to be, they can't fix the resolution, you know, out of nowhere, but they can do something with the frame rate. Some things will be fixed, just like The Witcher 3, but basically everyone's missing the point. The last thing I saw was that someone said they should make all their DLC free from this point forward. And I completely disagree. I don't want anything about this game to be free. For the same reason that I pre-ordered the game. I want them to have money while they're making the game. Not after, while they're making it. So they can make that better. I want to support them while they make the content, so that the content is wonderful. If they're not making money, then someone in a suit or with a bank account, in air quotes, will say it won't be worth making. For this game, the free DLC will be awesome, but the paid DLC will be worth way more than we ever pay for it. So, I'm only 18 hours into the game, but I am absolutely loving it. It's not as long as The Witcher 3. I 100%ed The Witcher 3. It took me almost 200 hours to do it, and this will not be that. There's a title screen. For a lot of people, it takes them about 4 hours to get to. It took me 9. Before that title screen, I was like, oh, this is pretty fun. But right before that title screen, where Cyberpunk 2077 comes up after a story mission, it made me cry. So then I was like, all right, this game's fantastic. I'm enjoying it. I hope that you can too. I don't necessarily mean to be insensitive, but I just think people are missing the point when they say, you wouldn't do this about some other company. It's not some other company. It's apples, it's oranges, completely different. Thanks for your support, guys. Rancor Liverpool, out.